everybody? Welcome to Aspects Land of a Changing Man. My name is Gold, and I'm bringing you another episode. I do want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Hoping that you're having a good night tonight, and I hope that your night went well last night. Remember, this is a show basically based on my perspective on things that I see that may be a problem within relationships, helping them to get to the forever status. So what we want to do is basically find out what the root of the problem is, pull that out, and replace it with some good so that we're able to fix those problems. Well, thank you to everybody for coming out tonight again. If you want to reach me, my email address is mplsmikid@yahoo or gmail.com. If you want to find me on Twitter, it's at mplsmikid, aka GOL. And Aspects Land of a Changing Man is the Facebook page for this podcast. If you want to find me on Facebook, I'm also on YouTube at Aspects of a Changing Man, and on there you can find every episode that I've ever done. It might be in 2 or 3 sections, but if you listen in, you definitely can get the episode that you want on there. Well, again, thank everybody for coming out. If you like this show, definitely hit the follow button. If you're liking the episodes that you're hearing, go ahead and hit the like button. And if you want to take it off or listen to it on your own time, go ahead and hit the download button. And, you can be able to pass it on to someone else. Because this is basically giving information to others so that we can help the problems that we feel like they can have in the relationships. So yesterday my show was about removing yourself as far as being in a relationship. I feel like with removing the bad parts out of you may be replacing a lot of things that may have put you in a comfort zone when it comes to a relationship. But you may have to pull yourself into an uncomfortable place as far as being with someone, as well as, having some outside interference or protecting your partner from yourself, because that's what you say when you love someone. Is basically, I love you enough to protect you from everything, even if it is myself. So I felt like yesterday's episode was about, looking at yourself and saying, this is what I must take out of me for this relationship to last. Today, I wanted to get into one thing that may be a difficult task when it comes to, problems existing before the relationship becomes as good as you want it to be. And basically what I'm trying to say about that is rebuilding a relationship. Say you break up with your ex because of the fact that you guys had problems before. You feel like you fixed those problems and you want to get back to seeing if you guys can last because they're the person that you want to be with. You feel like the problem was you or the problem was them. They fixed it or you fixed it to where you feel like the relationship can move forward. And that may be a hard task because of the thing that's called memory. And the one thing is that people don't forget very easy. Everybody will say the past is the past, but getting past the past is a very hard thing, especially if it's a past that really hurts you in a way where you wouldn't think that you'd be able to forgive someone for. So when it comes to that, the past is the past. You have to be able to forgive the person for what they've done, or even forgive yourself for what you've done to that person, to be able to first step back in the picture to try to fix the problems that you guys may have been having. With me, there was a lot of problems within myself that I had to fix so that I could be able to become the person that I wanted to be for a relationship. So when I step back into the picture, the one thing I have to do is I got to put myself in a zone where I know where I went wrong at, and be able to stand against all the accusations or all the red flags that my partner may be getting from the last time that we were in a relationship. Because that's what they're not looking for. They're not looking for the same person or the same problems. They're looking for a new person. They're not looking for new problems. They're looking for new solutions. So once I step in there, I got to be able to know, okay, this is where you feared at. This is where I brought fear into you. This is where I brought hurt into you. And I must know that you're not going to be comfortable around the situations that could bring any type of memory around that when you're with me. Because a lot of times we step into a relationship again and we're like, a situation happens and they get that, that memory of it. And the first thing you want to think of is that's not me anymore. Why do they keep accusing me of being the same type of person? And we must understand that the trust is gone in that situation. In that situation, in that place that they found comfort in you at one time, you took that away. So you're going to have to rebuild that place with trust that might take way longer than what you expect it to be. It might be that it may take years for you to get to the point where they trust in you again to not cheat on them or not abuse them in any type of way, or not leave them to the point where they're in a weakened state, or any type of hurt that they can get to. Now, any type of hurt that you have caused them before, they might need some time of healing. They might want to be around you, and they might care enough to hope that it can work. But at the same time, they might have to go through a long healing process because of the trauma that you put on them in that situation. So we must rebuild. We might have to rebuild a whole house, a whole new relationship, because of the house that we tore down before. So we have to build a whole foundation. We have to put in the blueprints, build a whole foundation, build the frame around it. Replace the windows, the pipes, the flooring, the rooms, the walls. You got to replace all those when it comes to what you tore down. You got to replace those things. It might not be totally, I'm just using this in a hypothetical way. It might not be totally torn down, but at the same time, you still have to replace it in a way where you still have to replace those things that you tore down. You have to rebuild it, and if you tore it down if you tore it down so much, you're gonna have to rebuild it from the ground up. And that's what it comes to in a relationship. Some of us are impatient with the person being trustworthy towards us because we messed up their trust, and we feel like because they let us back in, they should trust us right away. No, that's not the case. Sometimes we feel as if, that they should know that we love them because we're stepping in and we're saying we're sorry. We're apologizing, we're begging, we're giving solutions for what we can do as far as when the problems occur. But it doesn't mean that in their mind they're not thinking that it's going to happen again. It doesn't mean that they're not going to be on guard. It doesn't mean that they haven't prepared themselves in a way where they can now, they feel they can now find the problem before the problem even happens. So one thing you got to understand is that when it comes to that, it's going to be a lot worse. It's going to be in a lot worse condition than when you left it. because now it's the happiness and the sadness and the guard and um, the watching, the preparing. They might not be as nice as they were. They might not be as loving as they were. They they it might be that they require more of you as a person because of the fact that you messed up something in the past. It might not be you, it might be them. It may take them a while to understand. But with patience, with kindness, with with self-control, it could be a very fixable problem. You know, it might take a while, but it is a very fixable problem. Just because there was something that happened in the past doesn't mean the it has to be the way for the future. We are able to change, and people say people don't change, but a lot of people do change. I changed myself because I seen the things that I wanted to change, and I said that's what I'm going to do. So in that, it took me some time to actually change myself. I said that, okay, I'm never going to do these things again. But at the same time, I had to put these things in, I had to find a new way to handle those problems and put them in practice, to see how I was going to do them, then put them in practice, and then execute them and know how to execute them. So it took me some time to actually figure it out because once I thought I was clear of all these problems, sometimes they would try to inch back into my life in a certain type of way. So once I did that, and I learned that it's going to take some time for me to actually fix everything that I need, that I have going on. Plus, it may be some stuff that's around that I may have to clear out that I don't know is inside of me. Knowing that that may be the case for my partner when it comes back to us being back together, that they may have some things that they may need to clear out as far as the fears, as far as the hurt, as far as the guarding that they may put up, the new way they feel like they need to handle a situation because of what I did to them in the past. And that may go into the subject of people not knowing how to handle a situation, because this may be a situation where they were hurt before, and what happened in that situation, they handle it. It may have worked for their benefit in that situation, but it may not work for what is going on right now. It takes a lot of love to heal a broken heart, when it comes to you actually being the one that broke it. And they may not know how to handle a situation now because of the fact that they're dealing with a new person in an old person in a new situation. So they may feel like they have to watch you. They have to call you all the time to make sure that you're somewhere. That they have to make sure that you don't get as mad, or what you're going to do. What are you going to do when you get mad about a situation? When you guys are arguing, are you going to get mad enough to where you get out of control? Are you going to um, are you going to talk to her in a situation without arguing? Are you going to be there for the kids? Are you going to, take care of the bills? Are you going to work? Are you going to, have it to